Jimin leaned in, nudging Jungkook with a mischievous grin. Jimin, hey Jungkook, check out that girl. She seems interesting. Why not strike up a conversation? Jungkook, his gaze fixed on the dance floor, responded with a cool tone. Jungkook, leave it, Jimin. I'm not really into that stuff. Jimin persisted, playfully teasing. Jimin, come on, just look at her once for me. Grudgingly, Jungkook diverted his attention briefly towards the girl who was serving drinks. Meanwhile, Taeyong, feeling bold, decided to make his move. Taeyong, hey, why don't you come and sit on my lap? Wyan, the girl maintained her composure and responded politely. Wyan, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm here for serving, not for other things. If you have any drinks orders, feel free to let me know. She accompanied her words with a friendly smile. Jungkook, a bit surprised, realized she was the same girl he noticed earlier. Appreciating her professionalism as Jungkook decided to excuse himself from the scene, Jimin couldn't help but find amusement in the situation. Jimin, ha ha ha, she rejected you, Mr. Handsome. She's different, just like I said. I can tell the type just by looking. Not like the others, a bit unique. Taeyong gritted his teeth, frustrated. Taeyong, first time in my life a girl rejected me. I wouldn't let it slide. Jungkook gave him a stern look while intervened. Jungkook, you won't do anything to her. Jimin teasingly chimed in. Jimin, oh, what's going on in your mind, Mr. Mafia? Jungkook ignored him completely and spoke. Jungkook, I want her now. I didn't see any girl like her before. Let me talk to her. He approached Wyan, who was serving drinks to others. Suddenly, someone grabbed her waist forcefully. Wyan, let go of me. She tried to break free from a guy, but he was too strong. And Jungkook stepped in, grabbing the guy. Wyan managed to escape, and Jungkook confronted, throwing punches until the guy fainted. After making sure Wyan was okay, Jungkook said, come with me. Wyan, still scared, asked, what? Jungkook, just follow me. Wyan hesitated, refusing to go with him. Jungkook informed his friends about his departure. Jungkook, I am leaving, you guys enjoy. Jimin teased, you too, bro, with a wink. Jungkook smirked. Jungkook, not joining. He asked from her. Wyan questioned, where are you taking me? Please let me go. I don't even know you. Ignoring her protest, Jungkook lifted her into his arms and headed towards his car. In the car, Wyan pleaded, please sir, let me go. I. Suddenly Jungkook kissed her, leaving her stunned. He continued, pulling her onto his lap. Wyan tried to resist, placing her hands on his chest, but he held her tightly by the waist. Jungkook pulled back, holding Wyan's chin as he complimented her beauty. Jungkook, you are so beautiful. Wyan, feeling uneasy, pleaded, please, sir, I'm not the kind of girl you are looking for. Please let me go. Jungkook reassured her, I know you are different. That's why I want you. Wyan, shocked, questioned, but why are you taking me with you? Jungkook, okay then. Would you like to be my maid? Just mine. Wyan stammered, what? A maid? I'm not good at that. And Jungkook interrupted. You will learn with time. Now just relax. He gently rested her head on his chest as he drove towards his mansion. Wyan's point of view. What should I do now? He's taking me with him. What does he want from me? Let's see what will happen. God, please, I can't endure more brutality. Introduction. Wine is 19 years old, having left her studies due to poverty. Her parents died when she was 7, and she lived with her aunt since then, despite her aunt's occasional mistreatment. Wine believed in her love. However, her aunt, driven by greed, forced her to do all the household chores and forced her to do work at a nightclub to earn money against her will. Jungkook is a 25-year-old billionaire with a tough image. He thinks all girls are after his money because he is rich and is world's number one dangerous mafia. Despite having a cold vibe, many girls are interested in him, but he doesn't care about love until he meets Hwayeon. Her innocence catches his attention, making him feel differently and fall in love. Once Jungkook sets his eyes on something he desires, he is determined to take it from anyone. Now he wants Hwayeon and he intends for every part of her belongs to his. Back to the story. Hwayeon's point of view, the car stopped and I lifted my head. Jungkook was already looking at me. He kissed my forehead and lifted me in his arms, heading towards his house. A mansion, to be precise. The place resembled something out of a movie, like a fantasy. After a while, we entered a room, initially pitch dark. He turned on the lights and gently placed me on the bed. Jungkook, from now on, you will live here. You are just mine. He said this while unbuttoning his shirt. Fear grippled me, and I crawled back with a terrified expression. Wine. Please no, leave me, sir. He smirked, leaning in closer. Noticing her fear, Jungkook. Why are you so afraid of me? Do I look like a monster? Wine shook her head. Her eyes cast down, and he spoke while headed to the bathroom, instructed her. Jungkook, go into the room on the right from here, change into the clothes on the bed, and make something for me. I'm hungry. Wine stammered nervously. Yes, sir. He smirked and headed inside for a shower. Wine's point of view, I rose from the bed and entered the room as Jungkook instructed. Neatly folded clothes awaited me on the bed. After a quick shower and drying my hair, I stepped out of the room. A maid was standing by the door, warmly smiling at me. Maid, hello little girl. You must be someone special to our master Jungkook. That's why he brought you here. Wine. No, I'm just a maid. Mrs. Han, it's okay, I know. Now let's go. You have to cook for him, right? In the kitchen, I followed the maid's directions and was surprised to find many other maids. I wondered why he wanted to eat food made by me. Signing, I started cooking. Mrs. Han, what's your name, sweetie? Tears welled up in my eyes. No one had ever spoken to me so kindly. Mrs. Han, hey, what happened? Did I ask something wrong? One, Anio, no one has ever talked to me in this soft tone. By the way, it's Wine. And what's yours, Ajuma? Mrs. Han, it's Min Han, but you can call me Auntie. Wine, can I call you Mom? Mrs. Han, whatever you want, my daughter. Wine nodded. I served the meal and Jungkook instructed everyone to leave. I began to leave too, but he stopped me. Jungkook, not you, sweetheart. I froze on the spot. Jungkook, come here. Wine hesitated, but Jungkook's cold tone made her flinch. Suddenly, she took hesitant steps towards him. Wine, yes, sir. Jungkook, come eat with me. Wine glanced at him and reluctantly sat in the chair in front of him. Jungkook, not there, on my lap. Wine looked at him with pleading eyes, but he started eating. She got up and went to stand beside him. He pulled her by her waist, making her sit on his lap and eat with him. Wine, how's the food, sir? Jungkook, very tasty, just like you. Her cheeks flushed and she lowered her eyes. Jungkook slipped his hand inside her shirt, holding her waist. Wine held his hand and pleaded. Wine, please, sir, no. Suddenly, Jungkook placed his lips on hers and started eating her strawberry lips. You rushed to your room after the dining table incident, finding yourself in the same room he had brought you to earlier. Jungkook smirked, grappling with conflicting thoughts. I need to control myself. I can't risk ruining her, he thought. Despite his internal struggle, his hands froze when attempting inappropriate actions. What's happening? Don't be weak, Jungkook, he muttered. That's why I avoided love. It makes people weak, and I can't afford to be weak. Jungkook rose from the dining table, making his way to his room. As he opened the door, he found Wyan laying under his blanket, visibly trembling. He was confused, wondered if it was from cold or fear. After changing into comfortable pajamas and settling into his bed, Wyan, noticing the bed sinking, she hurriedly sat up. Wyan, sir, what are you doing here? Jungkook, sweetheart, it's my room, so obviously I should be here, shouldn't I? Wyan, flustered, began to get up, but Jungkook pulled her towards him, taking position on top of her. Jungkook, you are not going anywhere, my love. Wyan, what? Sir, please. Maids don't sleep with their masters. I have to go. Jungkook, speaking coldly, refuted. Who the hell said that you are a maid? Wyan reminded him that he labeled her as such in the car. Jungkook, okay, then leave it. But you are not going anywhere. You have to sleep here. Now, don't talk. Let me sleep too. He rested his head on her chest, inhaling her sweet fragrance, and closed his eyes. Jungkook, so soft, he whispered. You frozen in your spot, stammered. Sir, I need to. Jungkook interrupted. Shh, don't speak and let me enjoy this. A tense silence enveloped the room. Jungkook is now asleep. She gazed at him with open eyes. Her hands found their way to his hair, gently stroking it. Wine, what are you doing to me? My aunt might be looking for me since I didn't give her money. I hope she doesn't find me. I don't want to be close to you, but there's this attraction. I try to stay away, but you always draw me in. I have never felt this comfort with anyone else but you. When you touch me, I can't bring myself to stop you. It's not right though. I'm just a maid, a simple maid, and you are rich. People might say a cunning maid trapped a rich guy, and I don't want to hear that. From tomorrow, I will try my best to ignore you, and please forgive me for that. She spoke, kissed his forehead lightly, closed her eyes, and drifted into sleep. However, Jungkook, seemingly awake, opened his eyes and smirked. After 3 weeks of living there as a maid, you began ignoring Jungkook. During this time, you took care of his meals, cooked for him, provided clothes, and even tied his tie when he went outside. Jungkook, preoccupied with his work and an ongoing threat from his enemy, so he didn't stop you. One day, Jungkook returned home, drunken angrily, shouting for you despite the commotion. You continued washing dishes, Jungkook. Wyan, where are you? He punched his hand on the glass table, breaking it and injuring his hand. Ignoring his injury, he dismissed the other maids and called for you. Jungkook, come here. He spoke with his drunken voice. You approached hesitantly, lowering your gaze. Why? Yes, sir. Jungkook, speaking dominantly, pulled you closer. Seeing his hand, you offered to get the first aid kit, but he held your wrist. Jungkook, just please be near me. He pulled you in, snuggling into your stomach as you stood there, unsure of what to do. Wine. Is he drunk? After 5 minutes, you firmly stated, Sir, your hand is injured. Come with me, please. Jungkook, in a drunken voice, insisted, I don't need that, I need you. You forcefully pulled yourself away, helping him stand, and placed his arm on your shoulder, guiding him towards his room. Wyan commented, He's so heavy. In the room, you assisted him to sit on the bed. As you began to open his shoes, he lay down. Suddenly, he spoke. Jungkook, Wyan, I want you. Her eyes widened in surprise. Wyan, what? He didn't respond and mumbled, Please give me a chance. Wyan grabbed the first aid box, treating his wound. He hissed, but you blew on it and applied a bandage. As you tried to get up, he held your wrist and got on top of you, Jungkook. Wyan, please help me. It's hurting. She cupped his cheeks. Wyan, where is it hurting, sir? Tell me. He looked at his inner thighs and your eyes widened. Wyan, I am sorry, sir. I can't do this. You pushed him forcefully and he laid back on the bed. Jungkook. Something is off, he screamed, pleading. Please, Wyan, go out from there. I can't control myself if you stay one more second. Wyan, but I can't leave you like this, sir. He opened his shirt due to feeling hot, sweat appearing on his body. Jungkook, please turn on the air conditioner. Wyan, you might catch a cold, sir. And Jungkook, then get the hell out from here, or else you will be responsible for your state. He spoke, rolling off the bed with a loud thud. Concerned, she ran towards him. Why, sir, are you okay? He didn't speak, tears flowing from his eyes. Wyan gently wiped his tears away. Wyan, I'm ready, sir. He opened his eyes wide, speaking urgently. No, I can't. Please go from there, Wyan. Wyan, I can't see you in this state either. Jungkook, you sure? She nodded, and without further words, he removed his and every single clothing. The next morning, you woke up early before Jungkook and gathered your clothes and ran out from his room. You were afraid. When he woke up, his vision was a little blurry. He sat up and cursed, Ah, my head hurts. That Jack put something in my drink. I won't leave him. But what happened yesterday? Why can't I remember anything? He got up and saw stains on the bedsheet and got confused. Then he looked at his right hand, which was covered. There was some blood on his bandage, so he thought it might be his. He went to the bathroom, took a shower, and went downstairs. He saw that Wine was dusting the table, but her legs were shaking as she walked. But why does she got hurt anywhere? After 3 weeks, you had not told him about that night, but something was off today. You felt nauseous and puking. You want to vomit, but nothing comes. There were a hint of fear in your heart that what will happen if you are pregnant. You went to the pharmacy store and got the pregnancy stick. You went to the washroom, locked the door, and checked. After 2 minutes, you sat on the floor with a loud thud because it was positive. Why? What if he forced me to abort? Wine sat on the floor with a loud thud, the weight of the positive test sinking in. Holding her head, a fat tear escaped from her eye. Wine, what should I do now? She sat in the bathroom, contemplating her next steps for 20 minutes. The idea of informing Jungkook crossed her mind, but the fear of him pressuring her for an abortion made her decide against it. I won't tell him about my baby. What if he forces me into an abortion? Now I won't inform him. Whispering to herself, she stood up, catching a glimpse of her reflection in the mirror. Dark circles under her eyes told the story of her emotional turmoil. After washing her face and disposing of the pregnancy stick, she went outside. As she wiped her face with a light pink towel, her attention was caught by Jungkook. Sitting on the bed, nervous, she lowered her gaze. Princess, come here. Lost in her thoughts, Wine was slow to respond. He called her again, louder this time. Jungkook, Princess, I'm calling you. Come here, hurry up. Breaking out of her trance, she went towards him. When she approached, he pulled her onto his lap. She kept her eyes on her laps. Is there something that is bothering you? She shook her head in denial. He spoke again while kissing her forehead. Don't lie, please. If something is bothering you, you can share it with me. Why? It's nothing, Jungkook. He pulled her closer. Okay then, let's sleep. Her eyes widened. What? Jungkook, I mean, let's sleep. I'm sleepy. He spoke, putting his head on her neck and started inhaling her scent. Jungkook, you're so addicting, my love. He said. She stopped him, about to stand up, but he pulled her back. You know, I don't like it when you ignore me. Why? I'm not ignoring you. She spoke, standing up from his lap. As he removed his shirt buttons, her eyes widened. What are you doing? She placed her palms, trying to stop him. He held her soft palms in his hands, pinning them above her head. Didn't you understand what I told you earlier? Why? What? He placed his lips on hers. Pulling back, he spoke. I told you earlier that I hate when someone ignores me, especially when I am interested in someone. Wine. I'm sorry. A tear escaped from her eyes. Jungkook's expression softened. Hey, what happened? She shook her head in negativity. Jungkook, let's go. I'm sleepy. She nodded. As she moved towards the bed, he gently took her in his arms and placed her on the bed. Laying with her in the warm blanket, staring at the ceiling, Wine couldn't hold back another tear. Catching Jungkook's attention, Wine, can I ask something? She wiped her tear and replied, Wine, why are you asking? Go ahead. Jungkook, promise me that you will answer honestly. She went into a trance, but he kissed her and got on top of her. Pulling back, he spoke. Jungkook, what happened that night? Her eyes widened in shock and she stuttered. Nothing. Jungkook, you are lying. I said earlier to tell me truthfully. Why? It's nothing, Jungkook. Seriously. She avoided looking into his eyes. Jungkook, speak while looking into my eyes. She continued avoiding his gaze. He held her chin lightly, making her look into his eyes. Jungkook, you don't believe me? She remained silent, gazing into his eyes. Sighing, he got off from her and went into the washroom. I came out from the bathroom after washing my face. I didn't want to show others that I cried. When I came outside, I saw Jungkook sitting on the bed. I don't know, but he's so attractive. My heart always beats faster when I see him. He has something. He called me and I went towards him. He pulled me onto his lap, asking questions, but I didn't want to tell him. What if he forces me to abort? I don't want to take the risk. I don't want that little life to come into this cruel world and I don't know. But I don't want to tell him. I don't know how he would react. Wine reflected on the care and love Jungkook showed her, something she had rarely experienced before, even from her own family. However, when he suddenly demanded that she sleep with him, she hesitated, unsure of how to share her secret. As they lay on the bed, he came on top of her, concerned about her well being. But the fear of his potential anger held her back from revealing the truth. When she remained silent, he sighed and left for the washroom. When she emerged from the bathroom with red eyes, it was evident she had been crying. Despite asking her, she didn't share what was troubling her. I decided to talk to her in the morning and went into the washroom. While washing my hands, I noticed a test with a positive result. My eyes widened. Is this what she was hiding from me? A tear escaped from my eyes. I came out of the bathroom, noticing the dry tears on her cute face. I pulled her close, kissing her forehead. Now I understood from that night when I got drunk and came home. Unaware of my actions, she had been avoiding me, which I initially thought was mine, turned out to be hers. I'm sorry, my love. Because of me, you endured a lot. I decided to talk to her in the morning, one last time, and whispered, Jungkook, good night, my love. I woke up and found myself on top of him. When I tried to get up, he held my waist more tightly and opened his eyes. Where are you going? Why, now here, Jungkook, let's sleep for more time. She rested her head, knowing he liked when she agreed to his little demands. After an hour, Wine pleaded, Jungkook, now wake up, I'm tired. Please, 5 more minutes. She got up a little and he opened his eyes. Jungkook, now I'm asking the last time, princess, please tell me what you are hiding from me. She lowered her gaze and spoke. First, promise that you won't be angry. Jungkook, promise, now tell me. She said it in one go and closed her eyes. When she didn't feel any movement, she opened her eyes and looked at him. Am I the father? She nodded. Jungkook, is it true? He spoke coldly. She nodded, getting scared, and tears escaped from her eyes. Jungkook, hey, it's good news. Why are you crying? She looked at him shockingly. You are not angry. He shook his head. Jungkook, I'm really sorry. Actually, I wanted to confess for a long time, but I didn't have the courage. So I'm asking you now, will you marry me? She covered her mouth, tears streaming from her eyes. Jungkook insisted, say something, and don't you dare say no to me. She nodded. He smiled. After 5 minutes, he pulled back and placed his hand on her. Jungkook, what do you think it would be? Wine. Um, how can you say that, Jungkook? It's just my heart said that. She laughed and spoke. I'm sorry, Jungkook. I didn't tell you before because I thought you would force me. I'm really sorry. Jungkook, it's okay. Also, forgive me if I hurt you unintentionally as a human. He pulled her by her neck and attached their foreheads.